Hi, welcome to Curbside Chats number 6. Today we're going to be filming in and around my office, and our feature story will be about our new customer satisfaction process. Now this is a grassroots approach to satisfying our customers, and more about that later. First, let's talk about our favorite subject, sales. Our forecast for February was at 41,600 cars, and you achieved that reaching almost 50,000. As you can see, at the beginning of the month, we were right on forecast, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And that is just great news. This was a tremendous month for you and for us. It's really helped put us back on the mark for our sales for the year. As you can see, we exceeded our forecast by almost 14,000 deliveries, and every zone and every branch made their objective. That's an excellent job. Buick is up 31% calendar year to date, while the industry has only increased 17.5%. The result is that our market share is 6.2% now, compared with 5.6% the same time last year. When you look at average daily sales rate, we started October at about 1,500 units and have steadily increased to we're up to 2,200 units a day now, and that's great momentum. That's what we need to keep going through the rest of the year. And speaking of momentum, do you remember this finish?
But here he comes. He's going to do
the bottom. He's down low. Bobby Allison high. Davey Allison trying the inside move. Bobby Allison holds him off. They come to the stripe. And the winner of the 30th annual Great American Race, Bobby Allison. Davey Allison, his son, in second.
Bobby Allison's recent victories at the Daytona 500 and the Goody 300 promote the Regal's aero styling and the modern design, as well as supporting Buick's heritage with V6 engines. Now, to support these victories, we've developed this Regal ad, which builds on our success. This ad was developed in black and white for the major newspapers. As you may know, it was run in the USA Today the week of the race. And this ad in color was produced for the weekly magazines, and that's already running in some of the magazines that you're probably receiving now. As you can see, we're not being bashful in advertising our motorsports wins. You may be interested in some of our February car line results. Now, the Skyhawk was up 32%, the Skylark 4%, the LeSabre was up 46%, and the Electra a full 52%. Our new Regal is up 18% over January, and when you compare it to last year's rear-wheel drive model, it's up 112%. Our daily Regal rate of sales has increased 12% just since the announcement of the salesperson's and sales manager's incentive. Also, the recently announced option packaging discount improvements of $300, $600, and $900 improves our competitive situation substantially. And this provides the deal that many prospects have come to expect in today's environment. Please take advantage of these enhancements today. Get our Regal moving even faster. Thanks. Now let's move on to Riata. We've delayed our media advertising blitz until mid-April, when our availability will be somewhat improved. Now, many of you have indicated the Riata business so far has been high conquest sales. We've had trade-ins from Porsche, BMW, Mercedes, even a Rolls-Royce been traded in thus far. And even the governor of Hawaii recently took delivery of a Riata. This car is fast becoming the halo vehicle that it was intended to be. Well, enough of February. Let's get on to March. For March, our forecast is for 50,000 units. As you can see, we are getting a rather slow start in the month, but we think that's because of the pull ahead into the strong February finish. But I'm confident we'll get back onto our forecast line and reach 50,000 units for the month. Now let's talk about CSI. Our latest CSI results show a 1-point improvement over the previous figures, from 85.4 to 86.4. Now that comes as a result of your continued commitments to customer satisfaction. And this increase has a direct effect on our car sales, not only right now, but on into the future. Our emphasis here as a total group can't be overstated. Now, I understand our recent sales momentum has generated some concerns about availability, but we have added production back into the schedule. Through February, we've added 1,400 Skylarks, 4,800 Centuries, 2,200 LeSabres, and 7,700 Electras. and we're evaluating further additions to the production schedule as momentum continues. However, we should remember that Regal availability continues to grow, and that's one of our greatest opportunities. Recent distribution has placed Regals where they're needed most and where they're moving the fastest. Interestingly, our buyer profiles show that many four-door prospects are coming in to look at Regal. So make sure you demonstrate the Regal size and many of its other advantages to those people. Also, as you know, the Regal Grand Sport, which was previously named the Z13, is also growing in demand and availability. All in all, managing our 1988 inventory properly, meaning a good clean carryover, is vital to our 1989 model launch, and every effort is being made to satisfy current requirements as well. Now let's talk about our customer satisfaction process. In 1980, Buick and its dealers began an effort to be an industry leader in customer satisfaction. And over the years, we began processes such as the Customer Assistance Center, our 800 line, a Technical Assistance Center, CAMS, and NVID. Now the reason for this was and remains that a satisfied customer tells 5 to 8 people and generates at least one additional purchase. On the other hand, a dissatisfied owner tells 16 people. The result is obvious. With this in mind, a Buick study group began to evaluate actual processes used today by the high CSI dealerships, and one that best ties Buick, its dealers, and the customers together. Now, the result of their findings was a customer satisfaction process that involves the appointment of a full-time customer assistance specialist right in your dealership, one with the authority and the cooperation of every member of your staff. This process was then fine-tuned and tested this fall with 4 pilot dealerships, and I think you'll be interested in some of their inputs and their results.
The competitive nature involving the customer's choice is getting ever more complicated from our point of view. So to us, it has pointed up the need to do something. We've always been customer conscious and customer satisfaction conscious, but I think today we're even more conscious of the need to set ourselves apart in dealing with that customer's needs so that he will think of us. When it comes time for him to make a choice, and he knows he has a multiple choice, we hope that he'll feel like, yes, the other car looks awfully good to us, but we can't afford to leave Smythe because they've taken such good care of us.
Larry Brostoff, our past National Dealer Council president, said that any time I get a customer giving me good news on how they appreciate her concern, I feel it's worth it to me. Hiring a customer assistance specialist was worth the expense. For these pilot stores, the CSI improved an average of 2 points, and customer contacts decreased 47%. The Buick wholesale staff was trained in the process in January and February, and each zone is going to begin offering the process in March. It's important to note that we're not selling this process. It won't cost you anything other than appointing a specialist and dedicating the time to make the process work. I encourage you, however, to take advantage of the time and the money that we've spent and allow our field organization the opportunity to demonstrate this process to you. Now, in conjunction with this effort, the Customer Assistance Center has been realigned with our individual sales areas to be more responsive. And also, the CAC now includes a database with your dealership contact person on file to make sure that all the customers have allowed your dealership the opportunity to solve each problem first. In support of these efforts, we have published and will be mailing to each of you the Buick Customer Satisfaction Philosophy, which is, it is our job to deliver products and services that match or surpass our customers' expectations. We will take every opportunity to listen to our customers and make every effort to satisfy them so that they will continue to buy our products and encourage others to do the same. I'd like to thank all of you who attended the NADA in San Francisco. The atmosphere was very positive, and I thought the exchange was quite healthy. The attendance at the Buick reception demonstrated just how far we've come in the last year. It's important, as we move forward, for us to share with each of you those products that will be announced in the near future. And the business meeting was an ideal opportunity for the display of the 1989 Riviera. I might add that the reactions to it were very encouraging. You know, the greater the attendance at meetings such as this, the better will be our total communication. Also, the National Dealer Council has recently concluded as well, and the results will be forthcoming. The input given by both parties I thought was good, and I think you'll like the outcome. You know, we received many comments and questions and concerns about incentive payments or the delay involved in reimbursing each of you for them. Our new policy, and we're sincerely dedicated to this, is to pay within 30 days. Now, recently you all received checks instead of parts account credits, and which we're going to continue to do if this remains the fastest method of payment. But you can help. You can help speed up the payments. Approximately 1/3 of all reimbursement requests were transmitted in error, thereby severely slowing the process. Our figures indicate that at least 1 week delay in credit when the data is transferred incorrectly. The bottom line is this: if the data is incorrect, you won't get your money as fast. So please do all you can to eliminate the errors. It's going to help us tremendously. Now it's time for my favorite section, answering your questions. Remember last time a couple of you asked if we could make the leather trim available in the estate wagon. And I'm happy to say that it is going to be available as a result of your request. Saddle leather will replace gray cloth in September of 1989. So starting the model year, we'll have a leather for you in that car. Here's one from Paul Cook, sales manager of Dick Layton Buick in Little Rock, Arkansas. He says, enclosed, very favorable comment from a happy Riata owner who traded his Corvette. Impressive ride, handling, styling, comfort, convenience, instrumentation, and economy all played part in this transaction. That's great. It also says, please send me another Riata. Here's one from Nick McClutchin of Maquoketa, Iowa. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Why isn't there more advertising on the Skylark, the LeSabre, and Century that focuses on the separate models? We do have a separate TV advertisement for the LeSabre, and we're cutting one now on the Century. And of course, we do have print advertisements that are separate for those. It really boils down to this. With the available money, how can we get the most impact in the marketplace? And right now with the Regal, all the data says that the Regal awareness is not as high as it needs to be. So we are pushing the Regal at the moment. Of course, that's where our greatest availability is. But we do want to make sure the Century gets a good start into next year. So we will be doing a rather different TV commercial for that to run later in the year. Dear Mr. Mertz, why did you minimize the importance of the 15% of sales that the Dealer Assistance Center dealers represent at NADA, and then in your January Curbside Chat you maximize the importance of the 15% that the fleet business generates? If I made any reflection on the DAC dealers, I certainly want to correct that. The DAC dealers have actually increased sales since the reorganization, and they're doing a fine, fine job. So it certainly was not my intention, if I did do that, to minimize their importance at all. It's extremely important to us. I'm glad you brought it up. Here's one from Roger Lair, Kirksville, Missouri. He said, rebates on the Riviera. If car is overpriced, why do you offer this rebate? Why not lower the price and let the sales force sell the car? Forget the gimmicks, only just lower the price. Of course, we have given a $2,000 invoice credit on this car, which effectively allows you to lower the price to the customer. If you lower the price on the sticker, that's a permanent change. And as we make the new models come out and we're able to get that car back where it needs to be in the marketplace, then raising the price is extremely difficult. There's some evidence that you're not all making use of the $2,000 invoice credit and giving it back to the customer. And I think if you use that, it's there available for you. It will help. Here's one without a name, but it says, now that the Grand National is gone, if you put the turbo V6 in another car, it must be the Regal, not the Riviera. The Regal is priced and styled to appeal to the performance buyer, and the Riviera is not the car for the turbo. Grand National could be reborn in the new Regal body. Are you thinking of doing this? Yes, we are looking at where the Regal should, or where the turbo should go. We have built a Regal. In fact, we've built more than one Regal with turbos in them, and they really go like scat. And we just haven't decided where the best place is, but we appreciate this input, and we'll take this in consideration when we make those decisions. Here's one from Bill Joyce, Jr. of Mansfield, Ohio. Bill says that most consumers compare only the bottom sticker price and disregard the great benefit of the value option package discounts. Could these discounts be continued as invoice reductions instead? Well, as we noticed, our competitors, especially Ford, highlights these discounts in the window sticker, and they've done that for several years, and it's been very successful for them. We tried this on some with potential window stickers at the Chicago Auto Show and asked people how they felt about them and observed how they reacted, and the reception was very good. So we plan to do this in order to highlight those discounts. We agree with you. They're not getting the attention they deserve, and of course all of you can call their attention to them during the sales process. Ed Mertz, could you please tell us why our Delco radios do not have forward as well as a reverse mode for the seek and scan controls? This is something Ford has had for years. This one comes from Maestra Buick in Wratham, Massachusetts. I agree, this is a nice feature. It is on our Riata and our Riviera at the moment, but not on our regular 2000 series radios yet. But we'll take this in account as we're doing our new radios and see if we can't get that incorporated. This is from David Collins, Collins Buick in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Why don't we offer a premium tire option like Michelin on our Park Avenues and Rivieras? Tire problems on these cars have been especially bad for us. We'll have to get with you on the tire problems you're having. We at one time offered a great number of tires and wheel option combinations, and many of them sold rather poorly, and it added a lot of complexity to our plant, which increases cost and decreases quality. So we're trying to get down to the minimum tire wheel combinations that are really good for you and your customers. And as a result, some of these options, such as you suggest here, generally don't sell well. But we'll take a look if there's some way to incorporate this idea into our plans for reduced option packaging. This is from Greg Abbey in Euclid, Ohio. So the black trim on the 1988 Regal exterior sport package looks great. Why not offer it by itself? Also, so people don't have to buy the whole package. I'm glad you asked, because the ribbon package, your B5Z, is now available to do just that. We agree, it looks great. There's one from Wally Trebeck at Smythe Buick in Santa Clara, California. It said the Riviera phone system is the best in the industry. It's also the best kept secret in the industry. That may be true, although in the latest issue of Playboy, they go through the top 10 features in the world, as I remember, and the Riviera phone system is one of those top 10. So we're getting a little help there in advertising our feature. This is from John McFarland of Cincinnati, Ohio. Why, after the introduction of Pontiac and Olds' new GM 10 series, Buick cut production of the Regal? We certainly did not cut production. In fact, we are continuing to increase production. I don't know why you would say this or what's causing the misconception or the miscommunication, but Regals continue to increase in production, and we have plenty of them available. We have a similar question from two of you here on colors. Of course, last time we talked about colors, and there were a number of comments about them. This one comes from Kent Pettis of Graham, Texas. Why must the Buick exterior colors and interior colors be shared with other GM divisions? And Jack Holt of Bend, Oregon, said GM could differentiate appearance between divisions if each one developed paint colors independently. More immediate and less expensive than silhouette changes. We are looking at this and seeing if we can do this on some models and a few colors. Of course, as we talked last time, it's very complex, very expensive to have a separate color. And where we share plants, you add additional colors and complexity. If we went down in the number of colors, we could have more specifics. So you might let me know how you feel about that. Are more colors better, or are fewer colors with more specific Buick colors better? That would help me. We got a great number of cards, as you can see, on the Regal 3800 engine. Why don't we offer it? When are we going to offer it? And so forth. We're working very hard to get that engine into the car. We agree with you. It makes a nice package. We have built a car, driven it, and it's a sweet running package. Also, a number of you have mentioned the controls on the armrest are too far rearward, need to be moved forward. We're aware of that situation at the moment and are determining how we can correct that in the short term, and we'll keep you informed on that. Here's one from Bob Hiswinga, I believe, of Sibley, Iowa. Said, "It's nice to know you read these cards, helps close the communication gap. Thanks for answering my question. I hope our Century business gets better." Well, Century business has picked up some, but it still is down over last year. And of course, it's important that we get the momentum going on Century because of the new models coming in '89. As we'll be on a turn and earn basis, we want to get those moving not only for our plants between ourselves and other divisions, but on a zone and a branch basis as well. So we appreciate your concern there, and it's a good value car, and I believe it can sell in higher numbers than it is currently. This one's from Bruce Myers of Bill Murphy Buick in Culver City, California. Is Buick going to make any changes to our current B-body wagon? Yes, we are. We are working on a new model, a complete facelift to that wagon right now, although it won't be around next year. It'll still be the current model next year. Also, Buick's reputation has been severely damaged by our stalling problems in the 3.8 engine and also the 440 transmission. Any plans to reverse public perception of Buicks being unreliable? Our current products are much better, but the public is scared from past experiences. I agree with you 100%. A lot of our sales problems in the last couple of years have been induced by our quality problems in the late 70s and the early 80s. There's no question about that. And that's why a great intensity of effort has been put on increasing the quality of our current products. And for the first time, we're hearing back from you on a voluntary basis that the 88 products are very much improved. The 3800 engine, the quality of the cars, and so forth. We have ways to go, but we think we've really turned the corner and made moved the needle quite a bit in that regard. Getting the word out is pretty much at a one-to-one basis. We talked earlier about satisfied customers telling their friends and dissatisfied customers telling more of their friends. We have to get more of those satisfied customers telling people. It is rather ineffective doing this in national advertising. Word of mouth is the best, but we are working at it from a public relations standpoint, trying to get the press to pick that up more to help us. And any suggestions you have or help you can give us along that line to get the word out will be effective for all of us. Last question came from two people. Is a Regal convertible going to happen, and when? That's from Bert Petrie in Scottsdale, and Bill Ross of Long Beach, California said, "Why do we showcase cars like the 1988 Regal convertible when I understand there are no production plans for the car?" Well, we build concept cars on a continual basis. We have to continually look for new ideas in our area, in our segment, to be competitive as we go forward. So we build concept cars like the Lucerne, like the Regal convertible, and so forth, and many more. We have every intention of at someday offering the Regal convertible based on the reception it gathered. However, whether that's the first priority of putting our capital or not, it becomes the question. Where in priority? Also, we have some legislation that is changing in the regarding of restraint systems with convertibles and what you have to do, and it doesn't look very attractive on the Regal at this point in time. However, we're going to keep showcasing cars. It draws attention at the auto shows. It gets us additional public relations. Press picks it up and talks positively about Buick. So we get a lot out of it, short of production as well. But it's a good question, and obviously there's been some misconceptions of just why we do that. So, well, it's good being with you again. February was great. March, I'm sure, is going to be very good too. Obviously, the momentum is building. We've turned things around here, all of us together. We have a ways to go, however, and I'm sure we're all working toward that. Have a good month. See you next month.
The great American